Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome, of course, to MALDEF's 2014 Chicago Awards Gala. I'm so honored to be your host this evening. And, you know, we come together as a community, not only to celebrate MALDEF's hard work over the past year, but also to pay tribute to our distinguished honorees. And so on behalf of MALDEF, I thank all of tonight's supporters, and in particular, all of the host committee members who contributed to ensuring the success of this event. Tonight would certainly not be possible without all of your support, so thank you. And as many of you know, MALDEF was founded back in 1968. It was a time when the Mexican-American community was being subjected to blatant discriminatory treatment. At the time, a group of brave lawyers united to combat these injustices, and so MALDEF was formed. Since then, we have made significant gains in the area of civil rights in this country, but we certainly still have a long road ahead, and MALDEF will continue to fight the good fight. So it is now my pleasure to introduce a familiar face to many of you here in Chicago. He oversees MALDEF's legal and policy work in the Midwest. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Regional Counsel Alonso Rivas.
Thank you, Michelle. I would like to begin my remarks this evening by thanking those who helped make this event possible. Our GALA co-chair, Walmart, our national corporate and law firm sponsors, and every one of you, our sponsors, benefactors, and patrons. I also want to thank our 2014 GALA host committee for all of your invaluable work in making sure this year's event was a success. Thanks to the hard work on MALDEF staff members in the Midwest, the Southwest, and the national offices, MALDEF and our partners and sister civil rights organizations celebrated significant victories this year that further our organizational mission to protect the civil rights of Latinos in the United States. For instance, in our multi-year nationwide efforts to eradicate state and local level anti-immigrant laws, we were handed favorable decisions by federal appellate courts throughout the country, holding that state and local governments are constitutionally prohibited from legislating on immigration matters. A total of 5 federal appellate courts are now in agreement on this matter, and more importantly, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to review those cases, ensuring the permanency of those decisions in several states in the Union. MALDEF and co-counsel also celebrated the successful completion of a lengthy, expensive trial against the second largest school district in Illinois. In an opinion harking back to the Brown versus Board of Education, the trial court held, among other things, that the district court intentionally discriminated against Latino gifted students by segregating them into a separate gifted program from their white peers. As a result of that decision, the parties entered into a settlement agreement to implement a unified gifted program that will provide equal access to all students in the district. Other important work MALDEF conducted this year was continuing our advocacy for fair regulations and policies with respect to the bill allowing undocumented individuals to drive lawfully in Illinois. That work including advocating alongside our partner, the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights, for an interpretation of the law that treats undocumented drivers as any other drivers in the state, allowing them to use their driver's license in lieu of a bond when stopped for minor traffic infractions. An interpretation to the contrary would have allowed for the unnecessary arrest of undocumented drivers, something that would have gone against the stated intent of the law. But despite our important successes, I would be remiss if I did not also mention the significant challenges we have encountered in our work this year. First, the U.S. Supreme Court denied our petition for review of the Eighth Circuit appellate court decision upholding the constitutionality of a local government ordinance prohibiting the rental of housing to undocumented individuals. This decision creates the real risk that such ordinances will be duplicated in an area of the country that has experienced a significant increase in Latino population in the past 20 years. Moreover, the Supreme Court dealt a major blow to affirmative action policies in its recent decision upholding a voter initiative banning affirmative action policies in public employment, public education, and public contracting in the state of Michigan. This decision paves the way for those opposed to such policies to use the citizen initiative process to pass laws that would have a hard time passing through the regular political process. The only redeeming aspect of this decision is Justice Sotomayor's strongly worded dissent, taking to task the all male justices for willfully ignoring the role race and racism still play in our society and in limiting the opportunities of minorities in America. In the months ahead, we are sure we will be tracking and opposing activities by far-right groups that are already using the decision to support voter initiatives that not only ban affirmative action, but also attack public education and fair housing and fair funding for schools. I thank you all for attending tonight's gala and for your continued support for our work. And now I will turn it over to Michelle Gallardo so she can introduce our first honoree of the night. Thank you.
Alonso, thank you so much and congratulations on a job well done. We certainly will look forward to hearing all about your victories next year. We're all in this together. Now it's with great pleasure that I introduce our first award this evening. For tonight's Corporate Social Responsibility Award, MALDEF and its host committee selected a man who throughout his professional career, he's served the Latino community in Chicago's business and communications industries. Julian Posada currently serves as Executive Vice President of Marketing and Strategy for the Sun-Times and Rapports and is president of Chicago.com Group. Previously, he was president and CEO of the Chicago Fire Soccer Club. During his tenure, the team saw record-setting fan attendance and corporate sponsorship. And for those hardcore soccer fans out there, it was under Julian's leadership that the Fire set an attendance record for the friendly match at Soldier Field against the English Premier League's Manchester United. Now, prior to the Fire, Julian was deeply engaged with media as founder and president of Café Media, a multimedia company that targeted second and third generation Latinos. He was also publisher and general manager for Hoy, Chicago's only Spanish daily newspaper. Julian currently serves on a number of boards, including the Chicago Parks Foundation, the Academy for Urban School Leadership, the Taproot Foundation, the Metropolitan Chicago YMCA, among others. And he also has numerous recognition and awards throughout his professional career, and we're certainly honored to be added to that list. So let's take a look at the video profile that MALDEF has created for Julian.
I remember having coffee with him once a couple of years back, right after he had launched Café Media, and he said to me, you know, the more that I do this work, the more I love learning the process of how I actually have a greater impact, not only in the community, but in the world.
He's very much a true community leader. He is really driven by helping and dedicating time to the issues, the causes, the organizations that he feels passionate about.
He continually wants to succeed. He doesn't settle for average. He doesn't settle for what is normal. He really wants every one of his tasks, every one of the activities he's involved in to be the best.
He's never afraid to bring up some of the controversial issues, and that's what I really admire about him. And there are times when I hear feedback when he might be the only Latino in a room full of other kind of senior business leaders, and he is always kind of bringing up our community and what kind of the real issues are.
Julian Posada is one of those community and business leaders that is always on a mission to get things done. I think he has certainly proven that in the different organizations he's worked with, from being at the Tribune, to then launching Cafe Media, to then going on to the Chicago Fire.
He doesn't take no as an answer, and he is continually working and pushing his people, and he leads by example. And I think that's one of the things that's impressed me. He's not just a manager. He's a partner in all the activities. He gets involved in both at his job and then in the not-for-profit world.
He went out on a limb and took a huge risk and wanted to bring the Manchester United to Soldier Field for the first time in history. And Manchester United has a global following, one of the most respected teams in sports. And he went out there, took that risk, but he told me, he's like, Martin, if this doesn't work out, I'm probably gonna lose my job. And it worked out extremely well. It was a great kind of showing for the Chicago Fire, but also for Manchester United. You had folks all over the country kind of watching the game. Please don't tell him, but I actually look up to him because he's the one that actually has taught me a lot about the value and the assets that we have as an organization, but as an individual, I consider him a mentor.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our Corporate Social Responsibility Award recipient, Julian Posada.
Wow. Yeah, thank God Juan Soto is not here to publicly embarrass him. I'm very humbled being here. I mean, looking at a lot of the strong leaders that are here, and it's very humbling to understand that you are a very small piece. So although I don't think hard enough on Latino issues. I don't think I do enough. I am very honored by what MALDEF and this award to me. And so two things I want to start. One is, this couldn't happen without my family support, without my wife and kids and brother who's here, really encouraging me to say, hey, look, you got to keep giving back. You got to keep doing what you do and work hard. And I think what Steve said is true. I don't like taking no. And so launching OI, at the Tribune, I'll never forget, and as I look at Omar and other folks, Latinos don't really read a lot, so why would we need a daily newspaper? And I remember saying, tell me 700,000 people that don't have a daily newspaper, right? And so, I'm not the smartest business guy, but I'm very determined to kind of push through. And so my civic work, as I look at Gloria Castillo and other folks who are here who just do phenomenal work, I am just as inspired by what they do as well. I think the second point is, I think that we sometimes underestimate all the power that MALDEF does. I think when you look at the non-sexy work that MALDEF does, it is truly inspiring just to see, this is in the trenches. I mean, this is work that I think we underestimate, how little things, how that change in perception of what MALDEF works on changes in a meeting about, well, maybe we should look at that issue differently. Maybe we should look at how we think about this particular constituency within that framework. And so, yes, I might be very happy to be in the big, board meetings in Latino, and I am usually one of the only Latinos there. But it goes back to the deeper, more systemic issues that MALDEF works on that makes my job, being on the board of the YMCA or the things, and again, the recognition for the award is great. It makes it smaller, because what MALDEF does is bigger. I think what MALDEF does in terms of understanding the core issues that affect many more people than me, I am very privileged to be able to be at a board, to be at a dinner like this. And I think that what MALDEF does for everybody, I think we all need to think about how we support that organization more. And so I thank MALDEF. Thank you, Mr. Sines, for everything you do for the organization, for the Chicago chapter. So enjoy the evening. Thank you very much for the award.
Congratulations, Julian, once again. Your work is so appreciated and recognized by us all. Now, as most of you know, MALDEF's fight for justice would not be possible without the support of a community that understands the value of its work. And so tonight, we kindly ask that you consider joining the fight for civil rights by making a contribution and keeping our lawyers, policy analysts, and educators active in our community. And it's really easy. All you have to do is take out your phone. I've got mine here. You can simply start with a new text message to the number 41444. And then in the message, you enter MALDEF, a space, and the amount that you would like to give and your name. And a sample of that text message is on the screens on both sides of the room, so you'll be able to see exactly how to do it, or maybe not. But you also have on your tables a placard that has the examples as exactly the instructions on how to do it. So again, just here you go. I'm going to do one as an example. And I'm going to take my phone and open up a text message and put the text message to 41444. I'm going to kick off tonight's pledge campaign with a donation. In the message, I'm going to type MALDEF, a space, and 500, my name, Michelle Gallardo, and then I hit send, and you will be able to see the pledge on the screen. And there you go. So, and it looks like Lisette Araiz has already joined me with a $50 pledge, so that's awesome. And Jacqueline Ruiz, another $50 pledge. Jacqueline, where are you? I don't see. There we go. Well, thank you very much. And David Damian Figueroa, Juana Barrera, Patricia Lara Garza. Thank you all so much. Keep them coming, definitely, please. And we'll keep reading off your names as we, you see that we have a goal of $5,000. We've raised $2,800 so far. So keep those text messages coming. Lisette, where are you? I didn't recognize you earlier. There you are, Lisette. Thank you so much for your donation. And there we go. We're up to $3,050. Cindy, $200. Thank you so much. That is so generous. David Damian, $250. And Patricia Lara Garza, $100. Thank you so very much. Roberto Romero, $50. Omar Duque, $250. Thank you so very much, Omar. Appreciate it. We're up to $3,800. Elisa Chico, $25. Rogelio Lopez, $50. Craig, $500. Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you. That's really generous. Alonso Rivas, $250. And we're almost at our goal. Come on, keep them coming. You know we can get to $5,000. I mean, we only have $950 left. So we can do this. I know that we can do this. $1,000? Did it go through? Oh, very cool. You were first? Nice. Let's see, who else? Come on. We only have $950 left to get to our goal. I know that we can do it before the end of the night. Let's double it. Well, I don't know. First, let's get to 5,000, then we can talk about doubling it. Who's going to help us get to 5,000? Huh? 4,150. Okay, only have $850 left. We can do this quite easily. Who's going to continue? You don't have to give much. We can give $50, $25. That'll get us there. We're up to 4,200. Very good. Who's M that wanted to remain anonymous? Just for that, I want to call them out. Who's M? Marian David Pesqueira, $100. Thank you so very much. That's very generous. Oh my God, look at that. We're up to 4,900. Okay, so we're almost there. We're almost there. Who's going to donate those last 100 bucks? You know that you can do it. Last 50. There we go. We've surpassed it. But that doesn't mean you can stop donating. You can continue on, certainly, if you want to, and we encourage you to do so for the remainder of the evening. So let's continue the program in the meantime, but don't forget to keep those text messages coming. Thank you really, again, everyone, for your support of MALDEF's work to improve the quality in life and to protect the rights of Latinos across the United States, because really that is what it's all about. And so I'd like you to know, again, that you can continue to text through the rest of the program, and at the end we will revisit exactly how much Chicago has raised for MALDEF. So hopefully we'll make it quite a bit above those $5,000 that we've already raised. In the meantime, MALDEF's Excellence in Government Service recipient is someone of unquestionable veracity and vision. The Honorable Iris Martinez was sworn into her first term as Illinois State Senator for the 20th District back in January of 2003, a position that was never before held by a Latina. Senator Martinez works hard to meet the diverse needs of her constituents. She has championed issues related to affordable housing and improving the quality of life for children and for youth in the state. For example, Senator Martinez has been a tireless promoter of the Grow Your Own Teachers initiative. It is an effort to recruit 1,000 teachers in 7 years by offering forgivable student loans to community leaders who wish to become teachers in low-income Illinois public schools. For this and for so much more, MALDEF is very pleased to honor her this evening. So please direct your attention to the screens for Senator Iris Martinez's video profile.
When I first met her, it was in the fall of 2002. So she was just running for office. And I was just so struck by how she wanted to know right away, what are the needs of the constituents in my community?
When I first met Senator Martinez, we were in a desperate situation. I'm the executive director of a child welfare agency in Humboldt Park, and the funding for our early learning center for young children with HIV had been completely eliminated from the state budget, and we were going to have to close. So I didn't know her, I didn't have any relationship with her, but we really needed to reach out to her and get her help. And I can't tell you how impressed I've been, not only that year, but every year since then, with how hard she fights for people in the district.
She's always in support of affordable housing, fairness, ways that allow many different kinds of people from different economic levels to live together in a happy community.
Well, I think that the fact that she is so dedicated is what's so impressive about her. Because of her background, she comes here with a passion for her work, and she's very persistent. She has a little bit of a temper, which I've been the victim of a few times, but it's all because she feels so strongly about issues that concern her.
Even before she was elected, she said, I don't care if I get elected or not. This is so important, I intend to work on it to make sure that you receive funding to open new programs for children.
Last year, when the equality for marriage equality bills came up in the Senate and the House, Iris was a fierce and vocal advocate. Her speech was incredibly moving, and part of that is because of what I said before. She is both personal and political, and she stood up and spoke about how this was about fairness.
As a Hispanic and a Latina has experienced discrimination, and you can see when she has been in the Illinois Senate that has been her goal to try to help her community and make sure that she rights some wrongs that she sees in her own life.
Senator Martinez is my hero. I really look up to her. I admire her. When I visit her in Springfield and I see the discord and the acrimony and the gridlock and all the challenges there, I admire her that she doesn't give up, that she stays in her position, that she keeps fighting for the people that she cares about. And in a lot of ways, it's a really, really thankless job. I wouldn't want it at all. I don't envy her doing it, but I'm so glad that we have people like her that are really speaking up for the community.
Hey, it's okay to have a little bit of a temper, isn't it? So please welcome MALDEF's Excellence in Government Service Award recipient, Illinois State Senator for the 20th District, the Honorable Iris Martinez.
Thank you. I don't have a temper. I'm just a little misunderstood. I mean, let's be honest, you know, a Latina woman with a temper, a Puerto Rican woman? Nah, not me. I'm just very passionate. But you know what? Let me just first thank MALDEF. I'm really honored and humbled by this award. You know, I know that people always talk about getting an award and being honored and everything. And I said, you know what? It's great when you're doing your job and people recognize, but I just love to work. I love what I do. I love representing my community. Being the first and only Latina woman in the state Senate, now there's something wrong there. You know, we need some more women in the state Senate for sure. But you know what? I got to thank MALDEF because you know what? We work hand in hand. You know, when it comes to issues, when it comes to redistricting, when it comes to, you know, when we talk about immigration and things that really matter in our communities, you know, MALDEF is there as a partner for us. As an advisor, and really keeps us on our toes. You know, when we talked about the driver's license, you know, I want to acknowledge that the sponsor of the driver's license over in the House is here, and the Representative Eddie Acevedo, who we need to thank because you know what, his vision, and there he is, and you know. He's, you know, the Latino Caucus works tirelessly in Springfield to make sure that the budget, when it's presented, that the Latino community doesn't get the little short end that we always normally get. Now, with 15 members representing Latinos in Springfield, that is a matter of holding up a budget, not letting a budget pass, because we're going to make sure, we're going to ensure that the Latino community continues to get their fair share. As someone who is always fighting, I mean, fighting fights, you know, I mean, not fighting, right? I think that my president Carlson said it best, you know, he's never had someone like me, and he probably never will have another one like me in the state Senate, because you know what? It's about passion. It's about wanting to represent a district, a community, you know, at home, because when I talk about my district, I talk about the whole entire state. What's going on in the whole entire state. I don't only represent one portion, I represent the entire state, because you know what, the issues for Latinos are across the whole entire state of Illinois, and we have to make sure that the voice in Springfield reflects, you know, what is going on in other states. It's great when people, you know, come to you and say, thank you for that bill, Senator, and it's, you know, and they'll say to you, Senate Bill, you know, 45 something, and you're like, what bill is that? Because there are just so many bills. But you know what? We depend on people like you in this room and out there to make sure that that you know, some of these issues are brought to us so we can legislate, so we can amend current laws that can fit our community today. One of the things that I want to leave you with is this. You know, I'm also fighting a fight that I know will interest many of you here, and that is, you know, the lack of judges, Latino judges on the bench. I really believe that there has to be more. We have to start holding more accountable the people who are making those appointments, because what I'm seeing is that we are not appointing enough Latino judges on the bench, and that has to change. So you know what? When we talk about passion, that's my passion, making sure that minorities participate in every aspect, that we have an opportunity, from businesswomen to minority-owned businesses to, you know, future judges that we need to put on the bench. make sure, I want to make sure that as you continue to mentor those young men and women coming in, our sub-circuits need Latinos. We need to make sure that the sub-circuits that are carved out by MALDIF and the legislature that for representation, that we also start holding people accountable about making sure that they're filling our Latino sub-circuits with Latino judges. So with that, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the award. I really am just blessed and humbled that, I wake up every day with this passion and the fact that I just want to I want to leave you with, I don't have a bad temper. I really don't. Thank you very much.
As you said, Senator, you're just an average Puerto Riqueña, right? I mean, come on. That's not a temper. Congratulations again on such a really, truly well-deserved recognition, and thank you for your continued efforts to improve the quality of life for those in your district and throughout the state. You truly are an exemplary leader and role model for all Latinos. And, continuing on, it truly does take a village, and our next honoree works every day with this in mind. Craig Chico is the president of the Back of the Yards Neighborhood Council. The council was formed in 1939 and practices its motto, "We the people will work out our own destiny." With deep roots in the Back of the Yards community and years of experience in community service, Craig Chico, with the assistance of the board of directors, has worked to create a model community organization for the entire nation by providing innovative social service and economic development programs. He too has received numerous awards and recognition for his work under Craig Chico's leadership and the direction. The Back of the Yards Neighborhood Council is working towards a new and better community. And so let's take a look at the important life and career of Mr. Craig Chico.
I first met Craig Chico about 4 or 5 years ago when I became a board member at CETA, which is a fairly large community action agency here in Cook County. He has really provided leadership, has assisted me. I'm the chairman, and I could not have succeeded, or I don't think CETA would have succeeded without the support that he has provided me and to the organization.
He was really engaging. I did think he was very formal, very reserved. But once I started working with him on a regular basis, he was just really open and kind and really sensitive and wanting to support the growth of our school and wanting to help me to really get a positive message out to the Back of the Yards community.
My first impression of Craig was very hardworking and business-minded. We kind of had the same thinking regarding non-for-profit, so we always worked together well.
He can be really busy. I know when I go in his office and he could be really busy in a meeting or whatever, he takes 2 minutes at least to say hi to you, greet you with a handshake, a smile. And I know he really doesn't need to do that because he's busy with other people. But I really like that about him.
He really gets what it is to help other people, and he really gets what it is to empower people. And I really appreciate that all of the work that he does in the Back of the Yards community and the message that he sends to other stakeholders is really that of providing service, but to empower people so that they can then make their lives better as well.
The legacy will be the success of the families that are recipients of the services, people who will not know who Craig is, but will have successes, and their children will have successes because of the dedication and hard work that he does. And so his legacy will be more individuals like him who are in a position to give back because he's giving back. Craig is a new father, and he is setting I think a wonderful example for his son, showing what it truly means to be a man who participates, who gives, who shares, And I think that is the best example that he can make for his son to grow up and see, and to be able to pattern himself after the example that his father set him for.
So please welcome MALDEF's Excellence in Community Service Award recipient, Mr. Craig Chico.
Thank you very much. I think I should get some recognition just for getting Danny Arce on camera, for those of you who know him. But I am truly honored to be here tonight, and I find the irony a bit daunting that I'm receiving a community service award from the ultimate service community provider in MALDEF. So it is really humbling, and I'm very, very honored and appreciative to be here. So to Tom Sines and the organization, thank you so much for this recognition. To the entire board of directors, I'd like to point out my dear friend Gloria Castillo. Thank you for the work that you do, and thank you so much for this recognition. It also means a lot to me tonight to be a member of a special club. Some of the distinguished past recipients I found out are Judge Ruben Castillo, Judge Maria Valdez, my dear friend from Univision, Luisa Echeverria, and Bill Von Haney from Exelon. So to be in your club, I'm not sure I'm worthy to be in that club, but I'm very honored to be there, so thank you very much. And to the other recipients tonight, Senator Martinez and Julian Posada, congratulations for the great work that you do. I am really only here today because I have the honor and the pleasure of running a wonderful organization called the Back of the Yards Neighborhood Council. In some very, very small way, this organization was started in a like manner that MALDEF was started. We were created to combat the working conditions of the union stockyards. Today, our community is predominantly comprised of Mexican-American families, and we have several challenges despite the work that we continue to do. About 30% of our families are below poverty. Now that's double the Chicago average. About 98% of our kids in schools qualify for free lunch. That's just too high. But I don't really want to talk about the challenges. I want to talk about how we're addressing those and the things that we're doing to make this community better. The Back of the Yards has a thriving retail district on 47th and Ashland. We have a brand new building being rehabbed as we speak, the old Goldblatt Center, which is going to be a senior independent living facility. We have a new Walmart and a new Marshalls and a new Planet Fitness that have all come to our retail corridor. So we have a lot of growth, and we have a lot of positives to look forward to. We recently hosted our 25th annual Fiesta Back of the Yards. We hosted 350,000 people, and they shared in our culture of food and art and music and entertainment. We have a brand new high school. You saw our principal, Patty Brecky, an international baccalaureate wall-to-wall high school, $125 million building and facility. So there are a number of great things going on in the Back of the Yards, and I'm honored to be part of that. And I want to make sure that you know that I recognize that no one does this by themselves. I have great leadership. I've got a great board of directors, and I just don't have a rubber stamp board of directors. I think most of you in this room know the people that I'm about to recognize and acknowledge for their work and their generosity, and I think they're the most philanthropic men I've ever known. My chairman, Phil Fuentes, Dan Arce, and Cesar Dovalina for the work that they do. Thank you very, very much, gentlemen. You know, and community support doesn't really go by itself. It goes hand in hand with political support. The senator just referenced the work that our representative and our senator do, and I'm very fortunate to have two of the hardest working state legislators working for our district, and the money that they've brought back to our community in such troubling economic times has been amazing. And I want to recognize them, as the senator just did, for their leadership and their work in the undocumented driver's license bill. And I also want to recognize them for their work in our in-state Dreamers tuition bill. So Representative Acevedo, I'm going to recognize you again because you deserve it. And I'm not sure if Senator Munoz is here, but thank you, gentlemen, for all that you do for our community. And let me not forget Senator Martinez's role in those bills. And I'd like to also recognize her for her leadership as the co-chair of the Latino Caucus. Thank you very, very much. Got a great staff. A few of them are here tonight, and I really appreciate all that they've done because that's the reason I'm up here. But I'd like to close by once again thanking MALDEF for what they do and for recognizing me, more importantly, what they do. I kind of have a new perspective on things. I have a new motivation and a new inspiration, so to speak. Our community, everyone, holds family dear. My nieces are here, Sarah and Alyssa. They support me in everything I do. My lovely wife, Fabiola, is here, who supports me every day. Thank you guys for always being here for me. And if that's not enough to keep you working hard and keep you on the right path, my wife and I have been recently blessed, as you just heard in this video, with a newborn. We have a 15-month-old at home. He's with Grandma, and I'm sure he's not sleeping. But I want to say on behalf of my son in particular and all the children of his generation, thank you for the work that you've done at MALDEF that'll make his life better and his life easier. And I really, truly appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much for this recognition. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Craig. Congratulations once again. I mean, all you do is so greatly appreciated, and thank you for leading the way. Now, I have the privilege of introducing MALDEF's President and General Counsel. Thomas Saenz is one of our nation's most respected and experienced civil rights lawyers, and he's responsible for leading many of MALDEF's renowned settlements and courtroom victories on behalf of the Latino community. So please welcome MALDEF's President and General Counsel, Thomas Saenz.
Good evening. It's only 8:15, which means I have about an hour to deliver my remarks. Thank you very much to our very restrained honorees for their very wise and succinct remarks. It gives me more time to wax on. I, of course, begin with many, many thanks to all of you for being here and your ongoing collaboration and support of MALDEF. A few more words in a couple of minutes about the continuity of MALDEF and its mission. But let me begin with specific thanks. First to our Master of Ceremonies, Michelle Gallardo. Thank you very, very much once again for your really sincere and passionate leading of this evening. I want to recognize the MALDEF Board of Directors, which is a national board of directors, but that has some, and has always had, some particularly committed and passionate members here in Chicago. Let me specifically identify Gloria Castillo and Martin Montes, our current Chicago area board members who are here. And a member of the board of the subsidiary MALDEF Property Management Corporation and a former MALDEF board member, Jesse Reese, who is also here. Thank you to all of them, as well as our colleagues across the country. Let me thank also, of course, a dinner committee that dedicated so much attention and motivation to ensuring that Chicago's GALA would once again be the terrific program that it was tonight, with wonderful honorees and a set of attendees, all of you, who have a passion and commitment to civil rights across the country. If I could ask the members of the dinner committee to please stand and receive our acknowledgement for all of your efforts. I was particularly excited about the set of honorees that we had this evening. I think that individually, as you have heard and certainly experienced here in Chicago, they make a contribution that is enduring, that is sincere, that is really a symbol for the future. But I think together as a group of honorees, it really made this evening particularly special in their shared passion, sometimes temper, directed toward the goal that we all share of ensuring a more progressive America true to its constitutional values. Once again, please join me in congratulating and thanking for their ongoing efforts the wise and dedicated Julian Posada, our courageous and compassionate Senator Iris Martinez, and the wonderfully creative and committed Craig Chico. The event that we have tonight, of course, does not create itself. It's thanks to the ongoing efforts of our staff at MALDEF who, through dedicated efforts day by day, week by week, month by month, in communications and development really ensure that the word about MALDEF's now 46 years of commitment and service to civil rights and promoting and protecting the constitutional rights of all Latinos in the United States is a message that is heard. Let me thank David Damian Figueroa, Cynthia Gutierrez, Stephanie Loera, Jose Delgado, and the others who have helped us to put together the event this evening. You all heard from our astute and devoted regional counsel here in Chicago, Alonso Rivas. I know many of you have worked with him. I know that many more of you after this evening will understand why you should work with him. But he also has a tremendously devoted staff. We are now celebrating 34 years with a Chicago office of MALDEF. Next year, I hope you all will join us in celebrating 35 years, a milestone, if you will. But let me ask Alonso and his entire staff, who are here this evening, and including our recent staff member who left us, regrettably, but still should be recognized for her ongoing commitment to civil rights. Would all of the Chicago staff please stand and accept the acknowledgement of the crowd? And of course, in addition to being inspired by the tremendous work of folks like our honorees, of the collaboration of all of you in this room on a daily basis, we work with our sister civil rights organizations, particularly through the National Hispanic Leadership Agenda, but many other coalitions to ensure that our shared vision of civil rights for all is ultimately realized in this country. And I want to thank Dr. Juan Andrade of the USHLI for being with us here this evening, one of our ongoing partners. There is no doubt, but we meet in difficult days, sobering days in many senses. These are days that would rouse the passion and even the temper in even the most calm and modest of folks. We live in days when today, 1 year following the Senate's passage of comprehensive immigration reform legislation, a bill S-744, that is flawed but was nonetheless an important step forward. But a year later, we have nothing to add to that ongoing set of accomplishments directed toward addressing what is the defining injustice of our day, the failure to accord full protections and rights to millions who have, consistent with the American dream, migrated here, contributed to their communities, contributed to the economy, contributed to the family values that are so central, at least in rhetoric, but hopefully in commitment to our country, but who are denied that full protection because of a flawed immigration system. These are sobering days because we have been treated to more than one obituary for immigration reform in the year 2014. At MALDEF, we're not quite yet ready to commit that it is over for this year, but there are serious, serious challenges. And a year after the Senate took the important and critical step of enacting comprehensive reform, we had reason to expect and to deserve far better than we have. Instead, coupled with those obituaries for immigration reform, is an appalling loss of humanity in our national polity, where children who at great danger and cost to themselves have migrated to this country unaccompanied by their parents, sometimes with the tacit but grindingly difficult support of their parents, sometimes without any parental involvement. And those children have been made political footballs. We have lost our compassion, we have lost our humanity when those who demonstrate courage in the face of tremendously violent, dangerous circumstances in their home country choose to do what everyone in this room's forebears, at least one, has done, which is to undertake that dangerous journey to this country. And they have been greeted, again, with a politicized response that demonizes them, that dehumanizes them, that says that this country, or at least elements of it, will not recognize our history, our commitment to immigration, will not recognize our basic human values, even in the face of minors, children who have made that journey. These are sobering times when 1 year and a day following the Supreme Court majority's appallingly disconnected decision in Shelby County versus Holder, we still have no congressional action to redress the harm done by that decision, to again demonstrate a bipartisan commitment to ensuring that every eligible voter has the opportunity not just to vote, but to have their vote counted and meaningful in selecting our leadership. These are sobering times when our education system, instead of recommitting to ensuring equal opportunity for all, is portrayed by those with other agendas as a zero-sum, dog-eat-dog competition to get your own without regard to the better instincts, the better needs of our communities. In these sobering times, it is tempting, and I admit myself, to sometimes wanting to succumb to the temptation of believing that the one and only solution, that we should put aside all others and focus on an electoral battleground, that somehow we can, at the ballot box, solve this problem of increasing partisan polarization, that we can solve this problem of complete and deadly gridlock in Washington. If we could only focus all of our resources on a competition at the ballot box. There is no doubt but that voting and electoral participation are central, foundational to all of what we believe in. And there is no doubt but that what happens in November, as what happens in every local and state election around the country, is critical to the future direction. But we must not succumb to the temptation of believing that that alone is the solution. This is where the important work, continuing work of MALDEF, now 46 years ongoing, is so critical. As you all know, we do our work not only through litigation, but through policy advocacy that is informed by an understanding of the Constitution and our laws. and community education that is grounded in a belief that not only voters but every resident and contributor in this country is better off with an understanding of our Constitution and the laws that enforce it. Everything that we do, communications, community education, policy advocacy, litigation, is done from a vantage point of a belief in the abiding constitutional values of this nation. Yes, we know and have experienced, after 46 years of existence, have experienced directly the fact that the commitment to those constitutional values has often been incomplete, has often been in contradiction of what those values state. From the beginning of our nation's history, our time has been marked more by inattention to those constitutional values than commitment. But the work that MALDEF does is grounded in something real. Those constitutional values and principles, again, often marked through their breach, but those constitutional values and principles that unite every one of us, from the most recent immigrant, regardless of age, to those who can trace their ancestry to before the Mayflower. Our work is about the past and those values that have united us. It is about the present and a recognition of the compassion and humanity that grows out of those constitutional values. And it is tied to the future, a future grounded in the belief that a new America will flourish and succeed when it makes those values more true and real on a daily basis. MALDEF has an implicit and powerful future vision that ties the past with the present to a prosperous future. I've mentioned already the 1-year anniversaries of Shelby County, of the Senate Immigration Bill, but we celebrate other important anniversaries this very month as well. The 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, a few days away. Last month, the 60th anniversary of the foundational Brown versus Board of Education decision, and its less recognized but equally compelling decision in Hernandez versus Texas, the first significant civil rights Latino case before the Supreme Court. When we look at those anniversaries in concert with the earlier mentioned sobering disappointment of where we have not gone in the last year, we approach our work with a confidence and an optimism that is grounded in understanding that our experience, our history, tells us one thing: that ultimately, through hard work, those constitutional and unifying values and principles will prevail. And the work that MALDEF, with so many of our sister organizations and with all of you, pursues is grounded in that belief in long-standing constitutional values. So yes, we must look to November as a critical watershed. We must ensure that every person has the right to vote and exercises that right with a deep belief and understanding that they can make a difference. But we cannot conclude that that alone will suffice. We must continue to work together with a belief in the power of law and order, not a televised law and order, not a law and order that is about punishment and retribution, but a law and order that is grounded in those constitutional values and principles. We must couple all of our work with that ongoing belief and commitment. These are the motivating determiners of MALDEF's work. And in these sobering times, our tempers rise, our passions rise, but we always ground them strongly, securely in those beliefs. We look forward to the ongoing accomplishments of our almost 35-year-old Chicago office, as you've heard from Alonso, doing incredibly important work around the region. And we look forward to continuing to collaborate and partner with each and every one of you in pursuing our shared vision, a vision that is grounded not in competition, but in a shared belief and unity around the value of Constitution and law. Thank you again for being with us this evening. We look forward to seeing all of you once more next year. Good evening.
Thank you so much, Tom, for your words. Sobering and inspiring at the same time. And thank you for your continued service to our community. Oh, and by my count, you still have 40 minutes left. So if you want to come back up, you're sure? Okay. Well, so anyway, since he doesn't want to come back up, let's give another round of applause for each of our honorees this evening, MALDEF and its supporters throughout the evening and throughout the entire year. On behalf of the entire MALDEF team, have a wonderful night. I really hope that you enjoyed the evening. Thank you for joining MALDEF's 2014 Chicago Awards Gala. See you in 2015.